everyone. I'm Ronnie.
And I'm Jessica.
And you're listening to Clean With Me,
the podcast where we walk you through cleaning your house.
Thanks for joining me. In today's episode, I'm going to talk you through a few minimums first, like doing your dishes, doing a laundry switch and starting another load, and then doing a quick 5-minute pickup of your front room or maybe your bedroom. And then I'm going to give you some time to work on some decluttering or deep cleaning. So the theme of this episode is fall cleaning. I'm more of a fall cleaner than a spring cleaner as far as doing complete overhauls in my house. I tend to like doing that more in the fall. Don't get me wrong, there'll probably be a spring cleaning episode in the future because that's a thing. And I'll probably, create some projects for myself around that time. But I tend to do the most decluttering in the fall and then maybe again in January after Christmas. Anyway, let's get right into the episode. It's time to gear up for your cleaning session. Maybe you need to get your house smelling good, like taking out the trash, starting a wax warmer, or lighting a candle. Or maybe you don't feel presentable yet and you want to freshen up a little bit. Maybe you need to change into something comfortable yet presentable. We're not going to be scrubbing the bathroom with bleach products in this episode. So if that's not where you're going to be working, doesn't matter that much what you wear. I only kind of get into cleaning clothes, so to speak, just something I don't care much about for cleaning the bathrooms. And not even a light touch-up, but when I'm going to be just down on the floor, scrubbing, and using products that contain bleach. So this is not one of those type of episodes, but I want you to do whatever you need to do to get into the mindset of cleaning, because some episodes I'll just jump right into something, but more often than not, I like to make sure that you prepare so that you're in the right mindset, because if I have certain things looming over me, I don't want to go clean out a closet or something. I'm often quoted about some offhanded remark I said about your husband's not going to be impressed that you organized the spice rack when the house is a disaster. And people got triggered by that, but there's so much truth in that. Sometimes we will do a deep cleaning task without doing some of the minimums first, and it can go unseen and unappreciated. So I stand by that remark. I mean, obviously, in a perfect world, every effort that you make, and just be gearing up for your cleaning session, whether you're starting a load of laundry or something else, but I'll talk about laundry more in a minute. But obviously, in a perfect world, we get the validation and appreciation for every good thing we do. Or maybe that wouldn't be perfect. Maybe, we get a big head or something. I don't know. But nobody wants to have to announce what they got done for the day. Because they're not, I'm not saying like your husband's going to be necessarily demanding, like, what'd you do all day? But he might. And what about, do you really want to feel defensive, okay, when your spouse walks in and you're like, oh, I know it doesn't look like I did anything today, but I did a lot of work in such and such the room or whatever. And I've definitely been known to give that disclaimer. Sometimes arguments are started not because you didn't do X, Y, Z, but because you're feeling defensive. You have these self-imposed standards for yourself, and you're caught with a messy house, so to speak. You're left feeling defensive, and then that's off-putting to the person you're just defending yourself to. Maybe you understand what I'm saying, maybe not, but let's move on. Now, there are certain things that you can put off when it comes to your housekeeping, and there are certain things that you should not put off. The dishes, okay, every 24 hours, is one of the non-negotiables that you've got to do. Another one, and obviously there are exceptions, emergencies happen, I get that, but I'm just saying in general. The other non-negotiable is doing laundry because you have to have clothes to wear. And maybe you're a weekly laundry person, maybe, especially if you go to a laundromat, or maybe you're a daily or a twice a week person, but you've got to keep up on dishes. You've got to keep up on laundry. And then, of course, you have to pick up your house. Obviously, we've all seen, documentaries and hoarder shows where they never get rid of anything. And, especially trash is piling up as well. Okay. So that's where kind of a 5-minute pickup comes in. So to avoid falling behind every day, you want to do your dishes and get down to dish zero by the end of the day, or at least some point during the day. Okay. It's better to get it done by the end because, you don't want to leave dishes overnight. But if you do, at least get down to dish zero every 24 hours. Laundry, you've got to do laundry as often as you need to so that people have the clothes they need and clean bedding and fresh towels and things like that. And then the 5-minute pickup, because just, one of the laws of thermodynamics is things just tend to deteriorate into a state of disorder. Okay, I'm paraphrasing. So obviously there's daily maintenance that needs to be done. Okay, but obviously you also need to go deeper with your cleaning. So I'm not saying that you've got to always be completely caught up on your laundry or have your entire house picked up before you clean a surface. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that to avoid falling behind or living in squalor, you've got to tend to the dishes, tend to the laundry, and do a 5-minute pickup virtually every day. Okay, again, I understand about emergencies and stuff, but when you're in what I call survival mode, you might only be able to do the minimums. You can deep clean your toilet next weekend or something like that, but you don't want to just be drowning in dishes, laundry, things like that. So basically the way to get to those deeper cleaning tasks and decluttering tasks is to knock out these minimums first. I'm not saying have your whole house clean before you ever organize an area, because if there's too much perfectionism, you may never get to the thing that needs to be done. Okay. If you had to be completely caught up on laundry to clean your bathroom, well, that's not good if your weakness is having kind of a perpetual dirty laundry pile, clean laundry pile, or what have you. Okay. But you've got to be chipping away at that laundry. Even if you're a weekly person, if you do 1 load a day, you're going to gradually get caught up, okay, every single day. So enough preliminaries. Let's get into the meat of the episode. Hopefully by now you've straightened up your front room, maybe started a load of laundry, maybe freshened up, changed clothes, gotten presentable. Okay, gotten your house smelling good or whatever. Jessica likes to walk out in the driveway, get some sunshine. So sometimes I just take out my kitchen trash, and that's my time to get outside before a cleaning session and just kind of activate myself with the sunlight. Okay, so anyway, it's time to gather up dishes from around the house. We're going to spend a few minutes on dishes. We're going to talk a little bit about laundry again if you haven't started a load. And then we're going to do a quick 5-minute pickup before I give you some ideas for decluttering or deep cleaning. Okay, so let's gather up dishes from all around the house. Maybe you have a coffee mug on the nightstand, or worse, maybe you've got dishes in various surfaces, on various surfaces in various rooms. It's time to get everything to the sink area. Okay, I've been hand washing off and on, just due to some issues with my dishwasher, and it can be a lot, but I use disposable plates anyway, just pretty much exclusively, I say exclusively, but I keep them in stock. But for certain meals, they're better on a hard plate. And I usually give my husband a hard plate just because he prefers it. And I'm not buying like the huge, ultra sturdy paper plates that would be super expensive. So yeah, I don't mind him using a different plate at dinner or whatever. No one cares but him. So he wants a regular plate. But anyway, he understands why we're using paper plates, of course. And he grew up with paper plates as well. Well, I don't know if he grew up with them, but when I would visit him, his mom had paper plates. So I know he approves of it, but he likes eating off a hard plate. But I digress. Once you've gathered up the dishes, it may be time to put away clean dishes. Like maybe you need to empty your dishwasher or your drying rack to make room for more. Maybe you need to do just a quick empty, reload, and run of the dishwasher. Or maybe you need to pre-rinse the glasses, silverware, and bowls and get them soaking, maybe plates, and get them soaking, kind of start that first sink load. When I hand wash, I like to pre-rinse things under running water with a scrub brush and then put them in the other side of the sink, which I fill with hot soapy water. And kind of as that water's cooling down, I'll straighten up my kitchen as far as putting away seasonings that got left out, cereal boxes. I'm always mentioning seasoning and cereal boxes, but you may have other things that you need to put away in your kitchen, but I just start kind of clearing things off that are not dishes, just other clutter in the kitchen, basically. And sometimes there are even items on the floor that need to get picked up. When you're babysitting a 2-year-old, there's no telling like what you could find on the floor. If you're new to the show, I have a total of 6 kids. 3 are adults. 3 are, I call them teenagers. 1's 12 and 2 are teenagers. So we've got 3 still living at home. And then I babysit my 2-year-old grandson and 8-month-old granddaughter pretty regularly while my middle daughter is at work. And then my oldest daughter is married with 2 daughters, but she lives about 5.5 hours away, and she's the co-host of this show. So some episodes it will be my daughter, Jessica, and you get a different perspective from her because she's younger and a different stage of life with 2 young school-aged daughters. So be getting those dishes done, even if you don't have time right now to deal with maybe some paper clutter on the end of your kitchen counter or something like that. I want you to just kind of get those bare minimums done. I was just talking about when I'm hand washing that I walk away and kind of straighten up. But what I really want you to focus on most are the dishes. One shortcut, if you can get everything into your dishwasher except maybe a few pots and pans, you can soak those pots and pans in the sink with hot water, dish soap, and maybe a dishwasher pod to kind of really supercharge that soaking session. Then you can come back and just pretty much rinse those dishes off oftentimes, because that dishwasher pod can kind of do the heavy hitting as far as washing the dishes the same way it would in the dishwasher. Obviously, you look at things and, wipe them off quickly and rinse them. But that can be a big help, that trick of letting those sit for like an hour, at a time where maybe you have some dishes with dried on food or whatever. That can keep you from just standing in the kitchen scrubbing to the point where you're in there for an hour and you don't end up getting to the deep cluttering or deep cleaning task that you're focused on. And one of the important reasons that you want to get to some deep cluttering and decluttering and deep cleaning, even when you're kind of in survival mode, is because it gives you a sense of satisfaction to do something that's going to make a lasting impact. I mean, as far as dishes, like, they're never done. You get them done and then people are dirtying more. Obviously, the solution to that is to have people clean as they go. We have rules about that in place here. But, some of these mundane household chores that have to be done on a daily can be boring. And one of the ways to be excited about how your home looks and to stay motivated on keeping up on those mundane chores is to do some other projects that make a more lasting impact. And there's just something to be said for adopting some level of minimalism in your home. Because it could be that you have more stuff that you can handle, or you have so much stuff that it's not put away out of sight, which causes your house to look cluttered. Okay, and just be working on your dishes, whatever that means for you, whether you're doing an empty reload and run and hand washing a few pans, or washing the first sink load and putting everything else in to soak. If you're facing a disaster and you want an episode that's all about dishes, we have plenty of other episodes. You can switch to another episode, but we're only going to spend a couple more minutes on dishes because I'm assuming it's something you can knock out quickly, or at least get them soaking, get the remainder of the dishes soaking and come back to those later. But when you're storing things in sight, because maybe all of your drawers and closets are bursting, then you don't keep your house as clean because it looks visually cluttered, if that makes sense. I mean, think about how easy it would be. To clean someone's house who was totally organized, had everything put away, basically someone who had pre-cleaned before you got there, or they just have the habit of keeping everything put away. We all know people in our lives who put things away when they're done, who don't let dishes pile up. And it could be that their kids are grown, or it could be that they just really prioritize their housework. It could be a lot of things. So I realize, somebody listening right now might, be homeschooling 5 kids and you're thinking like, yeah, my mom's house is clean, but her kids are grown and, whatever. Obviously these kids are going to forget to put things away because kids are forgetful, this and that. I get it. I've been there and I'm still in the trenches in a lot of ways. Okay. I am to a point where I do have time slots available where I'm completely alone and I have a few hours to clean while chatting with a friend on my earbuds or listening to a podcast. And I appreciate that because I know how hard it can be when you have little ones. Okay. But maybe you're not in a stage of life where you have little ones. Maybe you are just struggling. You're going, Ronnie, I know what you're saying, but I don't really have an excuse. Like, my kids are at school and, I only work part-time or I'm a full-time homemaker and I've got all this time on my hands. There are a lot of reasons that people struggle with housework. I was not the perfect housekeeper before I had kids. So some of us just tend to struggle in that area, and it's something that we have to make a conscious effort to work on and to make ourselves do. So I know I'm kind of all over the place right now, but I just didn't want to go on and on about dishes. You knew what to do. Hopefully you've gotten all of your dishes done or most of them, and you left a few things to soak, and you're going to get back to those at the end of the episode. Great. I know you're excited about, tackling some problem area in your home, whether it's organizing your walk-in closet, going through your own wardrobe and decluttering it, or, cleaning out your pantry, or maybe washing windows or scrubbing baseboards. We'll get to that in a minute, but we've got a few more minimums to talk about. If you haven't already done so, it may be time to do a laundry switch. Okay, if you have a washer and dryer in your home, or even just a washer. I know someone who was having to take her laundry somewhere else, but she recently got a washing machine and happens to have a clothesline in her backyard. So she's doing it old school. But it's time, unless, you do the laundromat thing. Most of us do have a washing machine at home. It's time to do a laundry switch or start some laundry, okay? And I know a few of you don't struggle in the area of laundry, but let's just say, for the sake of a lot of you out there, that you're kind of behind on laundry. And you're going, oh, I feel like I need to do 5 loads a day to keep up. No, you don't. It just seems like that when you're behind. And sometimes we tell ourselves that we're doing 1 load of laundry every day, but we're really not. We're missing days right and left, and that's why it seems like we have so many loads to do. So maybe grab your outfit from your hamper that you wore recently, and it's one of your favorite things and you're going to need it soon. That could go in the load, and then see what else you can add to that and just make a complete load. If you are caught up on clothing, maybe you need to wash a load of towels or wash your bedding. But I have found that doing 1 load a day consistently will get you caught up over time if you don't have a day to set aside and get caught up on laundry. Okay, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Sometimes, our days off or our spouse's day off, end up being family fun days, and that's great. And sometimes we just lack the downtime that we need to get caught up. So if you're thinking, well, I would need a day to get caught up on laundry, just try the 1 load a day method if you don't have a day to do laundry all day long, and you'll get caught up over time. Okay, and I'm not talking about just washing the oldest laundry first, because you may want to wash the thing you just took off this morning if that's something you wear most often or whatever. You know how it is. Sometimes we're wearing, 20% of our wardrobe 80% of the time or something like that. So, yeah, put your favorite things in the load, but then pull some things from that Mount Washmore or whatever. I am not really one to have a large pile of dirty laundry, okay? There's a hamper in my laundry room, and there's a little laundry basket in my room for dirty clothes. My kids who are living at home still are all old enough to do their own laundry, and they do. I just kind of give them reminders, make sure you have, everything for school this week or whatever. But they do their own laundry. So my dirty laundry does not really pile up. Even when I was responsible for doing the laundry of several kids, I was pretty good about starting the washing machine and then putting the clothes into the dryer later that day, because it's just something that you have to do to function. Okay. But my problem area is that I would not always take the time to fold and put away the laundry. So I had kind of a fold more. So I feel like a mountain of clean laundry is better than a mountain of dirty laundry, because people can pull something out of the clean pile to wear, and it's clean. However, it's still not ideal. It's still a waste of time. It makes it hard to get ready in the morning. The stuff can get wrinkled, and then you've got to either iron it or put it in the dryer with a towel to fluff it. And it makes it harder to get out the door, and it's not ideal. So that's something that I struggle with off and on. I'll get on the wagon where I'm good about, folding and putting away, and then I'll kind of fall off that wagon. So hopefully you've done whatever you needed to do with your laundry. But don't feel bad if you're behind. Just maybe set a reminder on your phone, maybe at the same time every day to like start a load of laundry, and then another reminder an hour later to do a laundry switch. I do a lot of reminders on my phone, but I try not to have too many of them because then I just get used to swiping them away and don't take them seriously. So, choose your priorities as far as what you have alarms for. But I promise, unless you have like 10 or 12 kids, which most of you do not, one load of laundry a day will get you caught up, okay? And ideally do that load start to finish. Have a time where you fold it and put it away. Folding and putting away your laundry does seem overwhelming when you're looking at a clean pile of like 5 loads, okay? But if you do the one load a day, you get caught up and you're folding and putting away one load at a time, I promise it's not a big deal. I know because sometimes I'm on the wagon and doing my laundry consistently as far as the folding and putting away part. The next thing I want you to do is a 5-minute pickup of whichever area is most important to you right now. It could be your front room, your entryway, that it could be your play area, it could be your bedroom. Like you might be going, well, my living room is perpetually tidy because it's the front room of my house. It's the first room people see. And I don't allow, people to leave things out or whatever. Or it's an all adult household and, the worst thing we've got going on or some cat toys in the living room or something. Okay, maybe that 5-minute pickup should be in your master bedroom right now. Or maybe there's just some other area of your home that's a problem. Somebody made a mess somewhere, a toddler, trashed your pantry or something. But spend the next 5 minutes straightening up, picking up a problem area. And I want to encourage you to implement the habit of having a 5-minute pickup every day. If you're a mom of school-aged kids, you're probably telling your kids to clean their rooms and things like that. But are you personally doing a 5-minute pickup every day? Obviously, kids don't automatically keep the house clean because they see you doing it, but being in a clean environment does go a long way in producing, neat and tidy kids. One thing that I've noticed is that my kids see me decluttering and getting rid of things. They hear me talk about it. So they tend to do purges on their own. And I absolutely love it when a kid comes to me with a pile of clothing and says, these don't fit me anymore. They've gone through it before I went in there and said, hey, let's go through your clothes, which I did used to do when they were younger. And the fact that they do this is a combination of things. It's because I used to help them do that with their own stuff. They see me doing it with my stuff. And some kids just have a tendency to do that on their own. So don't feel bad if you do have kids who are ultra sentimental and kind of hoarding some stuff. They just need your help. They need your help in making the decisions about things. And that's something that you can set aside time for to work with them on. I mean, even some adults need people to help them part with things. So totally normal if your kids are not self-purging yet. So just, be picking up that problem area. But I just can't stress enough the importance of the 5-minute pickup, because if you combine that with doing all of the dishes and getting down to dish zero every 24 hours, doing one load of laundry per day if you're behind. If not, just be consistent with your laundry days. Okay, that's fine if you have a day that you do your laundry and it's, weekly or twice a week. But if you're struggling right now, get all your dishes done, do one load of laundry, and then do your 5-minute pickup each day. So if your 5-minute pickup was in the living room, it could be in the bedroom, and maybe you could even do a whole house pickup in 5 minutes. You know, if you're like me and you're picking up after a toddler because my grandkids spent the night last night, there might be more than 5 minutes worth of stuff to pick up, but probably not. You would be surprised how much you could pick up when you're moving quickly, and it can look a mess can look more overwhelming than it really is. Have a goal of keeping your floors picked up. And, maybe your 5-minute pickup doesn't take care of everything today, but if you do it consistently and, put things away as you go, your house is going to look better over time, I promise. And you'll do the deep cleaning chores more often. You're going to be dusting and vacuuming more often when you don't always have to deal with clutter first. Okay, now we're going to get into your decluttering or deep cleaning time. Now, this isn't a very specific talk through or anything because I don't know what you need to work on, but I'm going to give you a few ideas and just chat with you while you work. But we're going to spend the next 10 minutes, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but you can get a lot done, dealing with a fall cleaning task. A fall cleaning task could be cleaning out your coat closet, your linen closet. Okay, some of us have those 2 different types of hall closets. Your bedroom closet. Okay, it could be a room that's gotten out of control, whether that's the master bedroom, a spare room, like a craft room, a small child's room. Okay? And I say this a lot, but if you have a small child whose room is getting out of control, you might need to just take some things out of circulation. I'm not super minimalist about toys and things like that. I want kids to have a lot of toys, but I believe in taking them out of circulation. I don't want you to become this person that's like, don't give my kids any toys for their birthday or Christmas. No judgment here if you've gone through a phase where you're that minimalist and you're like, okay, we're not even accepting toys. But I'm not big on that personally. But what I am big on is having small toy boxes that you can put up in the top of your child's closet to take those toys out of circulation. And then when you rotate them back, take some different ones and put them up and rotate in some new ones, it's exciting for them again. And they get different things to play with. But you want it to be manageable for them to pick up and clean the room. This goes back to my own childhood. I always had a huge toy box, and I would dump it out to try to find something small in the bottom of the toy box. Then my mom would tell me to put the toys away, and I'd be like, it's too much or whatever. I was probably like 4 years old, but I've heard the story many times, and I definitely still am that kid. I do get overwhelmed sometimes by big messes. The other deep cleaning task, I think I mentioned earlier, could be washing windows or baseboards. I've had requests before for episodes about washing windows for the entire episode, but I just don't know what I would say during an episode like that. So this is going to be one of those catch-all times where you could wash a few windows, okay? Maybe prioritize the very front window of your house. That would be a good place to start. Or a window that you look out of often. Okay, perhaps your kitchen sink, faces the window to the backyard. And that window's kind of dirty on the outside, and you need to step outside and wash that window and, wash it inside and out so that you'll have a nice view when you're doing dishes. Or maybe you do wash those windows regularly and you want to wash some windows in the back. Or, maybe you're cleaning out a closet. And of course, if you're cleaning out a closet or a messy room, have a trash can or trash bag handy. Have another container for donations, and so on. This next part is beyond the scope of this episode, but some people go as far as removing all of the contents of a room, going through it, and then only putting back what they want to keep. For me, that's kind of like the old overwhelming toy box mess. I don't want to do that, but I'm throwing it out there because somebody might like that idea. Another way that I go more minimal in a cluttered room is I like to picture a hotel room and just how simple it is, how there are dressers, there's a bed, there's a large piece of artwork as a focal point somewhere, maybe one or two pictures on the walls. There's maybe a desk or, a phone, just things like that. But it's peaceful, okay? That's kind of the goal you should have for your bedroom. Even if you have to store a lot of things in your bedroom, the goal is to store things out of sight. And this does not always mean purchasing more dressers or more storage containers. Yes, sometimes there's a need for that, but more often than not, we should look at our existing containers as limits and get rid of stuff that we're not able to store out of sight. Or what about storing things that are visually appealing in sight, but storing them, like hanging them on the walls as opposed to piling them somewhere? Like I went through a phase where I was really into loom knitting. I haven't quit doing it. I still have a loom knitting project going, and I might ramp up my loom knitting when it gets closer to Christmas. But I hung up some of my looms on the wall on hooks because I was kind of excited about it. I kind of wanted to display them. So I'm definitely not against that either. But you don't want to get to where you're storing things on the floor along the walls in a room. Now, obviously, you might be storing things on a closet floor, but and just be decluttering or deep cleaning in any area that you want while I talk generally on this topic. But something to keep in mind is that sometimes houses flood, and so it's good to have important documents and pictures stored like on the top shelf of your closet as opposed to down at the bottom. So just a thought there. But obviously, we do store things sometimes on the floor of a closet, but you also want there to be some space in that closet, especially if it's a walk-in closet. So, for example, in my walk-in closet, along the back of the closet, I have some boxes with things in them, miscellaneous stuff, but I can walk into my closet. When I clean my room, I can vacuum the inside of my closet. And that's a good feeling, and it's because I cleaned it out recently as one of my fall cleaning projects. But I definitely don't just do that seasonally. I probably clean out the closet every 3 months, maybe. And one of the reasons why I have these episodes where I talk about deeper cleaning tasks is that some of us have a tendency to not think about things like washing windows until we're getting ready to have overnight guests or a dinner party or a birthday party or something like that. And then all of a sudden we finally see things through somebody else's eyes and tackle those procrastination chores like cleaning baseboards and windows. And maybe you're thinking, well, my house is generally cluttered. I'm always struggling with things getting left out and whatnot. So what good is it going to do me to clean out a closet? Well, it's going to give you more storage, and you can create places to keep things that are currently adding to the clutter, if that makes sense. So if you have some miscellaneous box visible in a room and you don't want to sort through the stuff right now, cleaning out a closet would create a spot for that box. Okay? Same principle applies in your kitchen. If your cabinets are jam-packed, you might start to keep things perpetually out on the countertop, which is making your kitchen look cluttered, which is making you less excited about getting down to dish zero every night. Just remember, like, clean surfaces and clean environments make it easier to keep your house clean just mentally. And especially when it comes to other members of your household. When someone walks into a perfectly clean kitchen to make a sandwich or heat up some soup or whatever, they are 10 times more likely, I mean, I don't know the statistic, but they are far more likely to clean up after themselves and restore the kitchen to the previous state than they would be if it was already kind of a cluttered mess. I feel like my kids know they're not going to get caught dirtying a dish in an already messy kitchen. That's why I'm really big on setting the stage for the day by, closing the kitchen properly at night, washing the dishes, cleaning up the breakfast mess or whatever, the aftermath of getting, school lunches together or whatever else, so that, when they come home and make a snack, or they're already home and, if it's a day that they're home and they make a snack, they will be in a clean environment and they will clean up after themselves so that they are not called out by one of the other kids, like, you broke the rule and didn't wash your dish or whatever. Okay, but it works for adults too, and it even works on yourself. Okay, when you deep clean your closet and you drop something in the closet floor, you're more likely to pick it up than if the closet is just a shambles. If you're wondering why I'm so into fall cleaning, it's because as we're going into fall, we will be indoors more. Obviously, it's not officially fall. It's still hot outside in many places, including here. But we're getting close to that time of year where we are indoors more. And so we want to kind of get our homes ready for that. We want our houses to be cozy. Whether we want to pull out some blankets and drape them over the couch or purchase some fall decor, we want that cozy feeling. We want that perpetually clean kitchen where we're not too overwhelmed to maybe cook an elaborate meal from scratch or bake bread or bake cookies. So for that reason, fall is a great time to clean, and it also gives you a head start on entertaining for the holidays. If you host Thanksgiving, Christmas, some other holidays, you want to be ready for that, and you don't want to be just so overwhelmed. Because let's face it, life doesn't stop because you've got a family get-together coming up. You may never have a full day to dedicate to preparing for company. So it's something that you could chip away now, on. I mean, for example, if you wash your windows now, they're still going to look pretty good at Thanksgiving, I'm thinking. With the exception of maybe your sliding glass doors if your dogs get muddy and jump up on the doors. That'll need to be done right before your party. By the way, if you've made it this far into the episode, you probably like this show. Please, if you haven't already done so, give us a 5-star rating and positive review on whichever podcast app you use, whether you're on Apple, Spotify, or some other platform. Be sure to click follow. We do have bonus content available. You can find out more about that by visiting cleanwithmepodcast.com. Special thanks to our financial supporters who support the show. It's time to recover from that deep cleaning task. Maybe you need to set something aside and finish it later. I call that recovery time, where maybe you've emptied out some drawers and you're sorting through them and you got a lot done and you've got a bag full of trash to show for it. But at this point, you might need to just kind of stash some things so that you don't leave a mess resulting from the decluttering project, if that makes sense. At some point, I just kind of call it, and it's time for recovery time. Because I don't want to feel like that little girl so many years ago with the dumped out toy box. I hope you got a lot done during this episode. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, happy cleaning. We'll talk to you soon.